Good morning, everybody. You're very welcome to our press conference today on the protocol on Ireland and Northern Ireland. I'm joined in the press room today by Vice President Maros Sefcovic, who will react to the announcement by the UK government.
Good morning. On Monday, the UK government tabled legislation confirming its intention to unilaterally break international law. More precisely, to break an agreement that protects peace and stability in Northern Ireland, an agreement that we reached together only 2 years ago. Let there be no doubt. There is no legal nor political justification whatsoever for unilaterally changing an international agreement. Opening the door to unilaterally changing an international agreement is a breach of international law as well. So let's call a spade a spade. This is illegal. The UK bill is extremely damaging to mutual trust and respect between the EU and the UK. It has created deep uncertainty and casts a shadow over our overall cooperation. All at a time when respect for international agreements has never been more important. That is why the Commission has today decided to take legal action against the United Kingdom for not complying with significant parts of the Protocol on Ireland, Northern Ireland. We have been withholding this legal action over the last year because we wanted to create a constructive atmosphere to find solutions. The UK government's decision has left us with no choice but to act. First, we are proceeding a step further with the infringement process we launched in March 2021 regarding, for instance, the movement of agri-food. If the UK does not reply within 2 months, we may take them to the Court of Justice. Second, we are launching 2 new infringements against the UK. One for failing to carry out the necessary controls at the border control posts in Northern Ireland by ensuring adequate staffing and infrastructure, and one for failing to provide the EU with essential trade statistics data to enable the EU to protect its single market. Ladies and gentlemen, the protocol was the solution agreed with the UK government to protect the Good Friday Belfast Agreement in all its dimensions, avoid a hard border on the island of Ireland, and protect the integrity of the EU's single market. We know that there are some practical difficulties in implementing it. We have said so openly. That is why my team and I had been engaging extensively with all stakeholders on the ground, resulting in a set of solutions put forward in October showing genuine and unprecedented flexibility. For example, our proposals would reduce sanitary and phytosanitary checks and controls by more than 80%. They would cut customs paperwork in half, create an express lane for goods moving from Great Britain to Northern Ireland, simplify certification, a single 3-page document for a whole lorry full of different goods. And they would allow even the movement of certain goods that would otherwise be restricted, such as chilled meat, like sausages. This is a solid offer, making a tangible difference on the ground. Today, we have fleshed out these proposals, proving they can work and they can work fast. We have even published the draft certificates that businesses would need to fill out, showing just how simple and easy they are to fill in. And I would like to show it to you. These are the 3 pages which need to be filled per lorry or once per month. Not 300, not 33. This is how simple it is, and this is what we can do if we work well together. Because our proposals are all about simplification and therefore in stark contrast with, for instance, a dual regulatory regime proposed by the UK. A dual set of rules, EU and UK, would lead to a mountain of paperwork and bureaucracy enough to bury a small business in Northern Ireland that wants to profit from access to both the UK's internal and the EU's single market at once. So once again, permanent solutions and simple operations of the protocol proposed by the EU versus constant uncertainty with UK ministers having an open hand to change the rules on a whim. We want Northern Ireland to embrace all benefits of this unique position, because our commitment to the people of Northern Ireland is unshakable. Despite today's legal action, our door remains open to dialogue. We want to discuss these solutions with the UK government. Given that the UK hasn't sat down at the table with us since February, I think it's a high time to show some political will to find joint solutions. The UK has stated that for us to talk, the EU must be willing to change the protocol. On the contrary, we have always said that our package of proposals has never been a take it or leave it offer. It can evolve, but it is not an unconditional offer. There must be safeguards included that protect the single market, because the risks for our market are real, not theoretical. And the conditions which allow Northern Ireland to access the EU single market for goods are not for the UK to change. It's simply legally and politically inconceivable that the UK government decides unilaterally what kind of goods can enter our single market. This is not the path for the two partners standing shoulder to shoulder when facing global challenges, and that this should be forged like that. I'm convinced that with political will, we can find solutions for people and businesses in Northern Ireland. But this must be done jointly. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vice President. We'll now take a few questions. Just to let you know, first of all, we have published press material online, as well as the two position papers which the Vice President referred to, including the document that he showed. So you'll find all of that online. Adam, please, first.
Adam Parsons from Sky News. Mr Sefcovic, there are lots of people here in Brussels who think that the European Commission is being played by the British government for its own domestic concerns. Do you have trust in the good faith of Boris Johnson and Liz Truss? And if not, were you tempted to go harder and further with the legal proceedings that you've taken against the British government, or do you still have those options up your sleeve?
Thank you very much for that question. Of course, I think our today's action, the fact that we have to start legal proceedings and legal action against our ally, against our partner in these very difficult times where we face together the global challenges is pretty telling what the level of trust we have. At the same time, we are fully aware of the current circumstances in the world, in Europe and in Northern Ireland, and therefore for us the peace on the island and our commitment to the people of Northern Ireland have, I would say, overriding principle in how we approach these negotiations. Therefore, we decided that our response should be measured, should be proportionate, and we are offering not only legal action here today, but we've been fleshing out what concretely we could do. I was just showing you 3 pages of the certificate, 3 pages. And I can also tell you that what we are fleshing out in our today's proposals exactly responds to the queries, to the questions, to the propositions I heard when I personally visited Northern Ireland, and what I heard since then, because I'm in regular contact with the business community, with civic society, and with the political leaders in Northern Ireland. What they want us to focus on is east-west trade, reduce administrative burden, make the operation of the protocol as smooth as possible, and this is exactly what we are doing. And what we are offering is a joint solution, which would offer stability, which would offer legal certainty, which would offer legal clarity. And when you are talking to the business operators and potential investors, what you hear from them, you know, for us it's very important to know if we are going to invest, are we going to produce for 5 million, 50 million, or 500 million? And that has, I would say, very important implications. We offered and promised to the people of Northern Ireland to have the best of both worlds. And this is what we want to offer them. What we are now getting in form of this draft bill would be the monstrous mountain of paperwork which the business operators in the Northern Ireland will have to fill up. I mean, go and ask, I don't know, the milk producers in Northern Ireland, how he or she can produce the milk, one sort for EU, another one for the UK, or any kind of manufacturer who wants to benefit from the access to both markets of the UK and the EU. Should he have two different production lines? So therefore, what I'm saying here is, let's focus on practicalities. Let's focus on how to make the operation of the protocol smooth, and this is what we are going to do. Therefore, our response today is measured. Therefore, it's proportionate, and that's the reason why we also are fleshing out that what we are putting on the table, it's really oven ready. If we have a positive reaction from the UK side, political will and engagement, this can be done in no time. As we did it with the medicines, we demonstrated we can sort out a very difficult issue within a very short period of time. And what we are offering here are ready-made recipes how we can solve the problems of SPS checks, problems of customs procedures. And as I said, we always been ready to discuss other issues as well, but there was radio silence from the UK side since February.
Jess.
Thanks. Jessica Parker from BBC News. Just to ask you, if this stalemate continues and the UK persists with its legislative plans, how far are you willing to go? Would you hit the UK with tariffs, even suspend the whole trade agreement? And also, you say you won't renegotiate the text of the treaty, but if that could open some further doors to compromise, why won't you do that?
I think I will start with the second part of your questions. I'm sure that you've been following the Brexit negotiations in a great detail, and you know that it took us more than four years to find that delicate compromise, where first and foremost we took the interests of the Northern Ireland people into most appropriate account, because for us what was of paramount importance was to protect the peace and stability in the Northern Ireland, to avoid the hard border on the island, and protect the single market. And we've been pondering over these issues for years. This was the best solution which we found together. I have to say that concrete Northern Ireland unique solution we've been developing at the express wish of the UK government. We, after laborious negotiations where we've been really going through the very demanding text line by line, we agreed upon that. We signed it. It was ratified, and now we cannot imagine that we can come up with something better, which would correspond to these three priorities: peace, no hard border, protection of the EU single market. On top of it, giving the Northern Ireland people and operators this unique opportunity to have access to 500 million potential customers, which is the only place in the world which has it. And therefore, we are ready to show that the agreements we negotiated, the protocol we agreed upon, offers us enough legal and political space to make sure that the operations could be smooth, that the checks could be inobtrusive. If we finally get the proper access to the IT and to the data, we are talking indeed about very, very limited checks with a 3-page certificate with, I would say, few few trucks being checked if they would go through this green lane, based upon the risk assessment by both UK and EU authorities, and everything can work perfectly well. And therefore, we are ready to invest additional efforts, additional imagination into this discussion, but we are not going to reopen the whole discussion, renegotiate the protocol withdrawal agreement, which was approved and ratified just 2 years ago.
Thank you. Bruno.
Bruno Waterfield, Times of London. You said just now at the beginning, you said, let's call a spade a spade. This is illegal. And you were talking about the Northern Ireland Bill. Yet the infringements you're talking about today have got nothing to do with that bill at all. They've got nothing to do with something that is illegal, something that you say is a breach of international law, something that's very, very serious. In fact, the infringements you're opening today are to do with the implementation of the protocol, nothing to do with the Northern Ireland Bill at all, and they're infringements that you could have either taken forward or introduced at an early stage. So why is it that while you call a spade, something that's illegal, you're not actually prepared to do anything about it at the moment?
I think we are pretty clear in our reaction to the bill. I think I'm making it even clearer this morning when I say that the bill, as it was drafted and tabled, it's illegal, period. And I think that I should also add one additional argument, that there is no doubt that there is no legal justification whatsoever for unilaterally changing an international agreement. And I'm sure the UK government knew perfectly well what they signed up to when they agreed to the protocol, although I have to admit they didn't do a very good job explaining it to the public. And most importantly, it's simply legally inconceivable that the UK government decides what kinds of goods can enter the EU single market. And I have to tell you that yesterday I had the extensive session with the members of the European Parliament. We had extensive session with the member states, and it's quite clear that the position of the EU on this one is absolutely united, and that the protection of our single market is a key interest for the whole EU and the member states, and we just simply cannot accept that the UK would simply unilaterally change an agreement in this respect. So, coming back to the first part of your questions, we are just arguing with our infringements of today that the key parameters of the arrangement which we've been working so hard to achieve within the protocol, be it SPS checks, be it customs procedures, be it the sharing of the information, so we can safely say to our member states the single market is protected, simply are completely disregarded. And I have to say, and I'm very sorry to state it, that since the March of the last year I haven't seen any constructive idea how to smooth the operation in a joint partnership way coming from the UK. There have been only new demands coming from the UK government, very often, not even once mentioned in the discussions I had with the Northern Ireland partners. So what I want to say is that by today's actions, from one side, we're showing that we will be quite resolute in defending European single market, but from the other side, we're still open for the negotiations because we believe that the joint solutions will bring needed legal certainty, clarity, stability to the island of Ireland. This would be the best message for peace. It would be the best message for the people in Northern Ireland and the business operators there, that actually they are the only place in the world which have this unique access to both UK and EU single market, and I know how interesting this proposition is for investors who are just waiting and hesitating. Should we come in? Should we wait? What would be the future? What would be the legal framework within which we would operate? Jennifer.
Thank you, Jennifer Rankin, The Guardian. Concerning the infringement procedures, the UK has made it clear it will go ahead with this bill that doesn't recognise the role of the European Court of Justice. So what does the Commission do if at the end of the infringement procedure process the UK simply doesn't recognise the verdict of the court or any fines that might have to be paid? And to follow up on a question, I didn't hear you answer my colleague's question about how far is the Commission willing to go. Is the Commission prepared to impose tariffs on British goods? Is the Commission prepared to suspend the entire TCA? Thank you.
I think that the role of European Court of Justice in ruling on the matters of the European law is very clear. It's clearly reflected in the withdrawal agreement. It's clearly reflected in the protocol. And not respecting the European Court of Justice rulings would be just piling one breach of the international law upon another. Does the UK want to go in that direction when the rule of law is something what we are discussing at every international fora these days? It's the way forward. Is it compatible with the proud British traditions of upholding and respecting the rule of law and international law in that regard? So that's, I would say, the political question I'm throwing up, and of course how other potential partners would look at the UK when they will be negotiating the agreements with them. Will they be changed in 1 year, in 2 years? Will they stick? Will they be respected? I think these are, of course, the questions for the UK government to respond. But I think that for us, the best way would be, let's come back on the safe grounds of respecting our treaties, respecting international law, and respecting the agreements and commitments we made to the people in Northern Ireland, that we will sort out this problem, that we will focus on unintended consequences of the protocol, that we would make the protocol operations as smooth as possible, and we would create these additional opportunities for the Northern Ireland businesses, because I think this is clearly very important. And, you know, looking at the economic performance of the last year, I think that Northern Ireland did quite well. And, of course, I do not want to go into the deep analytics of that, but I'm sure that the access to the single market was part of that good performance. And coming back to your question and the question of your colleague on the TCA. We are now bringing the argument also into the debate, which I'm sure will be in House of Commons, House of Lords, that there is a better way to solve these issues than having this legal dispute with the EU, than acting unilaterally, and that alternative, which I'm sure would be welcomed by the people in Northern Ireland and by the international community, is work on the joint solution, smoothing the operation of the protocol, and working on this together. And despite of all this and our experience of the past 18 months, we are ready to do that. Our doors are open. We are ready to engage on how to make sure that the operation of the protocol are as smooth as possible. We have recipes. We know how to do it. We demonstrated it with the medicines issue. I just show you how the certificate could look like, how it would be smooth for the Salisbury trucks supplying the operators in Northern Ireland. You've been informed how what we suggested in the concrete terms concerning the trusted trader scheme. So there is a lot of opportunities what we could do and how we could tackle this issue. So we expect that also the debate in the British Parliament, be it in the House of Commons and House of Lords, will take some time. Of course, if this draft bill will become the law, then of course I cannot exclude anything. But we are not there yet, and we want to solve this issue as the two partners should, through negotiations, looking for the common ground and delivering for the people in Northern Ireland.
Okay, I'll take one final question. Joe.
Thank you. Joe Barnes from the Daily Telegraph. So one of London's main complaints with the current protocol is that while it's in operation, the DUP will not enter Stormont, and that's why they're saying it doesn't respect the Good Friday Agreement. So do you think the UK government is being disingenuous with that, or will you be willing to potentially move further by putting stuff, extra stuff into law, maybe changing the EU's customs laws to accommodate more changes on Northern Ireland, or do something to placate the DUP? Or do you have another plan for kind of convincing the DUP to come into Stormont to kind of please the British government? Thank you.
Of course, forming the Assembly and the Executive, it's for the people of Northern Ireland to decide. It's for the UK government to work on with the political parties. In Northern Ireland, we have no intention to interfere in this process. We've been very clear from the beginning, and I think the protocol, it's absolutely explicit on that we respect first and foremost Good Friday Belfast Agreement in all its dimensions, and we respect also constitutional and territorial arrangements of the UK. So we cannot be clearer on that fact. And as you know, I have the regular meetings with the political leaders in Northern Ireland, and I was very explicit, and I will repeat it here as well. We do not seek a political victory here. We do not seek a political victory. What we want is to find workable, long-term solution based on the law, giving the legal certainty to the operators in Northern Ireland on how the protocol would be implemented. As you know, the European Union is a peace project, and we've been supportive of the Good Friday Belfast Agreement from its outset, be it politically, be it economically, be it financially, be it by different projects which I had the privilege to visit when I was in Northern Ireland, Fleury Bridge, Shankill Road Centre in Belfast, and it made a lasting impression on me how important this is and how we should remain committed to build up on what was already done over the last 2 decades, how important it is for the people in Northern Ireland. And that's our contribution. I'm just saying very openly, we want to work with all parties, we want to find the solutions, but what we need is a political will from London to engage with us, to work on smoothing operations and implementation of the protocol, and to do it in a way that it would bring the lasting benefits for the people of Northern Ireland.
Thank you very much, Vice President. This now concludes our press conference. Thank you very much to colleagues and to the interpreters for working on this press conference. Stay tuned for the press conference by the President at 12 o'clock all the way from Egypt. Thank you very much.